What is going on, my ladies and gentlemen of the world? You may be looking at the video length wondering what in the hell just happened. So it occurred to me during the last replay theater, I believe I even mentioned it, that BlazBlue Central Fiction 2.0 is coming out in 2 weeks for me, for when I'm recording this. These are gonna be, all these replays are going to be horribly obsolete when that time passes. So my option was, so I was basically sitting down thinking like, I'm just gonna record, you know, like 5-6 episodes, however many this is gonna cover, and then just upload them all at once. Just dump them all before 2.0 comes out, and then we can start doing new ones once 2.0 does come out. And then it was like, why bother recording a bunch of different ones when I can just do it all in one giant sitting? So here's the problem. That's a lot of replays. So here we are. Let's get to it. Got my water in front of me. Hopefully nothing goes wrong throughout this entire... I am kind of actually concerned. Now, my TV might be having issues. Actually, hang on, let me just... I apologize. Nothing's gonna happen for you, but I just want to turn my TV off and then back on again, because there are some red bars on the left side of it that are disconcerting, to say the least. And I hope they go away. But we'll see. It might also be the captions. I think they're gone. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for the next black screen, because they're most noticeable when the screen just goes completely black. And I was kind of like, because when I booted up BlazBlue, when I passed through the title screen, you know, when it's loading everything, I'm just kind of sitting there like, that's not, BlazBlue doesn't normally have that, right? Did I ever miss that before? Am I just blind? And turns out, no, it's my TV is being weird, but my TV's been weird before, not in that manner, but it has had oddities. The fuck was that hitbox? It's not bad enough that you give this character a reversal. This character a reversal. But it has to somehow be like a square block of a hitbox that's bigger than Izayoi herself? Shit, it's still there. I noticed it briefly. I really hope that does not bode poorly. Because it's not like, right now there's nothing. Nothing is on the screen. No weirdness. But when the screen goes completely black, there's a little bit of like creeping red bars coming in. And that kind of happened with a computer screen I had a while ago. But I suppose we will find out. It would be a rather big shame to, not entirely sure I can justify purchasing a new television and or monitor. That bitch is expensive, man. Yeah, it's only when the screen goes completely black. So hopefully it stays that way, and obviously it doesn't show up on the capture, so I could have just not said a word and nobody would know anything and I could focus on these fucking matches. But that's rather distracting, because that hasn't... It just started happening right now. Plus, it doesn't help that I'm watching these two characters. Like, I think 1% of the BlazBlue population actually likes Izayoi, and I am not among them. And Ragna's Ragna. So I don't really have much to do. That fucking hitbox is so dumb. Lord above, help me. Graphic designers, like, y'all gotta, I guess it's probably not the graphic designers, because I highly doubt they actually do the hit/hurt boxes. They just handle the actual animation of the move and then pass it on for all that shit to be built. But like, whoever made that hitbox, shame on you. For goddamn shame. Alright, it's not just, it looks like actually anytime there's any black on the left side of the screen, red kind of starts creeping in, because it's only on the black part. Like you see over like on the far left where it's like, you know, the black and there's some glowy greenish shit. It's only on the black part that red is there. Hopefully it stays over there on the corner where it belongs and never continues outward. Because, like, just it being just on the edge of the screen, like I said, it's a little distracting, but it doesn't affect anything. Not really. Hopefully that stays where it's at. Or maybe I just need to give my TV like a long break. I don't know. I haven't been using it that much today though. Because like generally when that kind of stuff starts happening, it's not just like, oh, I'm sure it'll go away eventually. Like it's gonna keep happening and will probably in all likelihood get worse. So yay. Alright, so yet another replay where I'm not. I think this is the point where replays started becoming a lot more sparse, and so I was just kind of like, yeah, you know, if somebody's level 33 or above, let me just download that immediately and not pay attention to the characters. And I'm starting to regret that decision because this is Mood 12 in Arakune. Oh boy, I have so much insight to give in regard to these characters. You're gonna learn a lot. I'm gonna fast forward through this animation. Like at this point, I actually kind of feel like I should just turn my television off and fucking just like do the replay stuff through the actual capture. The problem is the capture preview is actually slightly delayed by about half a second, I would say. I mean, I could adjust the microphone. Just push it back. That's way too much effort. I've already found the timing that's required to deal with a little bit. Anyway, the match. Talk about the match. What's happening? Arakune's doing Arakune things, Mood 12 is doing Mood 12 things, and Arakune is coming out ahead this time. There is my fantastic insight into the capabilities of these characters. That Arakune probably could have confirmed that appropriately into a super and finished it off of that no-tech, but they did not, because who wants to actually win? I'm sure they were expecting the tech, and so that was probably supposed to be a mix-up, more less than like a blue beat confirmed from there. That's dirty. Summoning the bugs off screen, like you can't even see them, you don't really know what's coming, you just have to know that that specific animation is what leads to Arakune summoning a bug on the ground. And you're just, I mean, it's just gonna hit you. Because you can't see it. Good anti-air. That's gonna be a curse. Because this is a fair and balanced character. A curse into a combo, into a curse extension, into a mix-up, into like 3, 4, 5, 6, 29, 37 mix-ups in a row that you can't do a goddamn thing about. Also, all of that was burst safe, as far as I'm aware. Oh, didn't even have her burst anyway, but it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure the majority of that was burst safe. This fucking character is an absolute absurdity. And he's still gonna be absurd in CF 2.0, just not quite as much, because his overdrive, that overdrive shit that actually won him, I think, did it win him third? I believe he did it, like, basically at the start of the third round, right? And that essentially won him the entire round. Maybe I'm thinking differently, I don't know. I'm not goddamn paying attention. I'll pay attention to this match, though, because these are two characters I actually like. Good side switch, fucked up the combo. That is unfortunate. Good instant blocking by this Hakumen. You can barely tell he's doing it, thanks to the color palette. But he was instant blocking everything right there. Wonder if that was an attempt to instant block. I am very familiar with that. Every time I try to start making an effort to instant block, I start eating a lot more hits than normal. Alright, good. It's Taokaka, man. You never know. That may not have killed. Actually two. I'll check. I'm curious if it may just be like maybe one of the cables is connected oddly. Maybe it could even be the capture, because I mean this is the first time I've noticed it now today is when I plug in the capture. I had not noticed it a single time prior, so it could very well be that. That would be nice. I mean, it wouldn't be nice if my capture is on the fritz and potentially gonna die. Holy shit, that damage! I would have to do some research though, if my capture card was dying. Because I would want to get like, I mean obviously you know, you're watching this video. It's only 1280 by 720, so what that gives me 720p. And it can record up to 1080p, but only if I'm willing to sacrifice 60 FPS, which when the main shit that I record is fighting games, feels stupid. It should be recorded at 60 FPS because the game runs at 60 FPS. So if you've ever wondered why I recorded this, that's why. It's because my capture card is limited. Good TK. I believe this one does more damage than the grounded one. Alright, give me a second. It's gone. I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did it. But the little bars are gone, so it was not my television. That's what I was curious about, was because, I mean, like I said, because I use different input channels for capture versus when I'm just playing on the console. And so that's what I was wondering. It's like, if I haven't noticed this on 2 other input channels that I've been using today, maybe it is something just to do with the capture, the cables, whatever. And turns out, yeah, buddy. So we're all good now. It's all gone. No more fears. No more worries. Everything's working as it should be. Could have gotten so much more damage than that. Nice mix-up, dude. Mix-up there. Oh, come on. That's just a free 5C. He just tried to dash TK. Valiant charge. And the upper weak point, even if he had gotten it, it wouldn't have fucking mattered because the upper weak point went away during the middle of the dash. Oh, that's a... Oh, he actually got to block! I have no idea. Like, I just cannot visually confirm when somebody, like, overdrive cancels and there's a simultaneous burst, when they're gonna recover in time and when they won't. Yo, this dude is full random. Like, this actually kind of surprises me because I recognize this dude's name. This guy was one of the most commonly found Hakumens for replays. And, like, I would never really think that, you know, somebody who would play Hakumen at least at a high enough level to make it to these ranks. He made it to these ranks with Hakumen too. Unfortunately, his replays were basically never available. It was always that this replay is not available. Oh my god, and it actually worked. This replay cannot be played or whatever. I would never think that somebody who would play Hakumen would be this crazy. Like, I can't even, like, nut is not enough of a word to describe this man's playstyle. Like, he is actually insane. And this is all that kind of unfortunate shit, which is like, this should, you watch it, right? You see it in action, and you're just thinking the entire time, none of this should be working. This is all so dumb. Like, right there, he just got hit. But why? That was so easy to block. It's just very, these kind of matches get very confusing. Oh god, he's gonna do a random astral and it's gonna work. Never mind, he went for the growler. Mix up. Gotta use it while it lasts. Apparently that's not gonna be quite as effective in the future because they removed, like, you used to be able to dash and then growler and it would maintain some of your, a little bit of your momentum so you'd move a little bit afterwards. That is apparently gone. He could have astraled out. Like, at least if you're gonna go that fucking nuts, at least finish it with an astral. Like, end it on the proper note. to suit your goddamn play style. But I think, from what I can tell, or at least from what I've heard from other people talking about it, that it might become a corner-only mix-up. Like, it whiffs most of the time if you try it mid-screen. I don't know if that's true or not. I have not actually seen it in action. I haven't actually seen any real Azrael players. I shouldn't say any real Azrael. I haven't seen any of the highest level Azrael players in 2.0 yet. Like, I mean, obviously Doga is already rare to begin with. Zexo's been gone for months. I haven't actually seen footage of him in a very long time. Ikumen was always fairly difficult to find footage of. And he's the only one that I'm aware of that's, like, still actually prevalent. It's just, like I said, hard to find footage of him. So yeah, I have no idea about the Azrael changes. Like, I don't know how they're really affecting people. Because the only ones that I've seen are, that I can name off the top of my head, are Akashi and Akirafu. And both of them have always been kind of like more gatekeeper Azrael status than, you know, like the kind of people that you watch to really learn high-level shit from, you know? So I don't really know where Azrael stands after the 2.0 changes yet. You get counter hit by that. Like, I was laughing at the Platinum just dashing under and running herself straight into the fucking corner, and then Jin just randomly gets counter hit by that projectile out of nowhere. And this is the same Jin. How did you make it to Kishin? Like, this dude is getting bodied, just smashed into the ground over and over and over, and like, he's just giving his opponents the ability to recreate American History X, where they're just like, bite the curb, bitch. And he's just like, alright, I'm sorry, my Jin's not good enough. And yet somehow he's Kishin. I don't get it. Like, I haven't seen anything Jin-like. Nothing that would hint at being a high-level Jin. Not the footsies, not the combos, like, nothing. Does that qualify as high-level Jin? I don't think it does. It's not even a kill, actually. Wait, he had active flow. She's dead. Fucking fuck off. I just... so... undeserved. Every time somebody lands an Exceed Excel, it's just so fucking undeserved. And that's such a bad mechanic to put into a game. I mean, there's a laundry list of mechanics like that that work so heavily in the favor of people that just aren't good enough? I don't know if that's really the proper term to use, but it's like, it's not even necessarily that people aren't good enough, that it's their only option. For some people, that's absolutely the truth. That they do not understand defense in any way, shape, or form, and the only way out of it is to use something as easy to use as Exceed Excel. But it's such a strong mechanic that it's borderline broken in the hands of anybody that's actually good at the game. And that it's just, it sucks when mechanics like that exist in fighting games. Because I really feel like they detract from the fighting game. They make it worse by their existence. And they've done nothing to fix it. Oh hey, it's kinda sorta punishable on block now, cool. Who have you ever seen that's actually good at the game that has an Exceed Excel block? I'm legitimately curious. Like, Overdrive Raid is already such a brutally strong and oppressive mechanic to exist that it really makes you second guess all of the pressure you put out, because if you put out one wrong button, they're gonna have invulnerability through it, and then, oh my god, that was a sick side switch. I already like this Mai. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Okay, I'm not so impressed anymore. Stop rolling! I mean, I guess I'd roll 7 times in a row too if it resulted in me getting the fatal counter that's gets me 5 times the damage of all the tiny little pokes that the person I was playing against did to me. Can this kill? I don't think that's enough. Oh my god. That was enough. But yeah, like, Overdrive Raid is already just a strong enough mechanic. It doesn't need the addition of Exceed Excel in there, and it certainly doesn't need the addition of Active Flow powered Exceed Excels. But they did it anyway, and they had a chance now. They're pumping out a balance patch. And they had a chance to look at it and be like, yeah, pretty dumb. And they did nothing. So I'm just severely unimpressed on that front. He's dead. That was a pretty damn good Mai. Aside from all the rolling. Oh boy. This poor boy. I actually recognize this name because there's only, I like this color actually, because there's only like 3 bullets that occasionally upload. Actually, I think it's only 2. Maybe I saw the same one twice and it just kind of went into my head that there's 3 bullets. But no, I'm pretty sure there were 3. Because I intentionally made a mental note that none of them have a 50% win rate. They all have lower than 50% win rates. That just makes me sad. That might be a reason why. It's always a little bit of a sign. Like, he went for max damage there, which is somewhat fine, but alternatively, gave up all his heat, didn't end the combo with any heat, gave up all his meter, and put himself in a screen position that heavily favored Ragna. God damn, the life, he gains a shit ton of life back from that. More people, I don't see why more people don't use that. Like, that's a lot of life. He's now able to survive. Like, before, he was potentially 1 touch away from dead. After that, he's not anymore. That would definitely have required 2 hits from Bullet to actually kill. Unless she just powered up to level 2. Oh, but yeah, that's generally in my head, it's kind of the mark of a, not necessarily a weak player, but a player that really isn't aware of, like, the tempo of a fighting game in general, just isn't, I don't know, I guess aware is kind of the best term I can have. See, like, right there, should have done that. Oh, okay, that actually hit. Never mind, ignore me. They knew more than I did in that scenario. I was thinking they had actually carried him too far away for that to land, but it barely did. Doesn't matter, I think she's dead. That's actually a pretty, as far as I'm aware, oh no, he fucked up with that accident. I'm pretty sure that was an accidental neutral jump. Hang on, I'll finish. Oh, she dropped it. I find that to also be somewhat weird in terms of the timing necessary to actually land that 5C afterwards. It's definitely not an easy thing to do. That sucks. But yeah, like, just there's so many people that will just spend meter for a super at the end of a combo when it's completely unnecessary. You know, like, yeah, sure, they get a tiny little chunk of damage, but it's not gonna kill. It's not gonna create like an advantageous scenario for them. It just kind of resets everything, and they gave up 50 meter to do it. And to me, in my mind, that's generally the mark of somebody who is less adept at fighting games because they just don't have that awareness yet to understand the disadvantage of doing that. Because for a lot of people, when they're learning fighting games, it's all damage. Damage. That's all they want. That's why you see people like in Street Fighter, for instance. The only combos they practice are like full jump-in combos. And then they start playing and they have no idea how to actually play grounded footsies, and they're just jumping non-stop. They don't understand how to get hits in any other fashion or what to do with hits outside of that. And it's just, you know, scenarios like that that really tell whether or not you're going to grow as a fighting game player, if you can understand why this is not going well for you and why you should not have done that. But for some scenarios, like for instance, I never like came to that epiphany by myself. They're like, oh, I shouldn't use meter here because it's far better to keep it just in case I need, you know, like a rapid cancel hit confirm off of a random hit. Maybe I need to run some mix-up that gets blocked and it's unsafe, so I need a rapid cancel to keep it safe, and then run some even further mix-up that could potentially be even better here. You know, like, that didn't just come into my head. A light bulb didn't just turn on and be like, yo, dude, you should be doing this instead. I was doing the same shit. And better players than me, once I started playing with them, noticed that and were like, yo, you know, like, you know that you really shouldn't you shouldn't spend your meter here because you're just sending us full screen. You know, like, that's not a good scenario for you. That your character has worse neutral than ours do. So it's better for you to just end the combo right here, save the meter for all those other options that I just said. So anyway, enough rambling about that. Back to the match. Have I even discussed a single actual match that's happened yet? I don't think I have. Granted, it's a whole lot of characters that I just don't know enough about to discuss in detail. Like, obviously, I can see the general ebb and flow of a match. I can kind of discuss decisions that happen, but in regard to, like, specific moves, or, like, potentially clever utilizations of their movesets, frame traps and stuff, like, I can't see them. I don't know. I just don't know enough about the characters. Oh, also, I found out today that oh my god, that fucking standing reset is so dirty. It's just, Rock is just... that was another thing they had the chance to remedy. I mean, they did fix it a little bit. It's no longer double digits plus, but it's still +7. That's still more than enough time to do whatever the fuck you want. Did she just try to burst bait somebody who had just used their burst? I mean, that barrier was either a fuck up or an attempted burst bait on somebody that did not have their burst. I don't know which.
The wheel of fate is turning. Action.
Who let... You know what? I won't talk shit. I don't know the person personally. Never mind, I'm gonna talk shit. Who let Guy Ma'am get to leader? Who did that? Who done fucked up? Does he actually live in Japan? Like, I know, the only reason I know his name is because of a few rare occasions where back when Giuna was posting high-level matches, well, not high-level matches, matches of himself, Guy Ma'am, and Jay against high-level Persona 4 arena players, just getting absolutely fucked up. It's the best way I can put it. And obviously, Giuna lives in Japan, so does Guy Ma'am live in Japan too? I mean, I don't know anything about that dude. I just know that he is a nut. And Naoto's a good character if you want to be a nut. Holy shit, that damage though. Oh my god, speaking of nuts. He woke up so, I mean, granted, that's a good time to do it, right? Like, if you have 100 meter, your opponent's gonna be thinking, like, alright, they have an invincible super plus a rapid cancel here. I probably want to be at least a little bit careful. But if somebody has, you know, how much meter they have right there, about 70, something like that? Alright, they're probably not gonna wake up super here, because to do so would be mad dumb, because they're gonna die if I block it. And then they do it anyway. And that's just the I mean, that's the perfect situation to really highlight, like, sometimes the dumbest thing you can do is actually, in fact, the smartest thing you can do, because nobody's gonna expect you to actually do it. And that really is sometimes the strength of playing quote-unquote random. A lot of the time it's not actually random, it's very deliberate, but it appears to be, because what they're doing just doesn't seem to make sense. But that's why you do it. A huge part of fighting games is to get a read on somebody, and if you can't do that, a lot of people get lost. Nice Exceed Excel right there, dude. Very impressed by this bang play so far. Also, he just randomly got hit. I don't know what he tried to do. And I mean, like, anybody that has any experience with Hibiki knows, like, those chains, you just can't really fuck with them. You have to let him Basically like Kagura, for instance, when he's doing all his stance shit. You gotta just let him burn himself out. Eventually it's gonna end, and it does not end well. Is damage low? Like, I'm actually surprised all those hits landed just because the damage proration was so bad. Oh, God! Oh, and he dropped it. That was a terrible start for that poor Bang, but he got saved. Corner Bang with a bumper down is crazy. So scary. I mean, as far as I'm aware, he can basically cancel anything into the bumper. Like, for instance, slide bumper, you can use that to make slide completely safe, and when you're doing that, it makes it one of the best meaties in the game. You saw him do overhead into immediate dash. Like, it's a scary option. And I would definitely say it makes him, that's his best, that gives him the best options in the corner. So let's see if he loses now. Like, if this Hibiki definitely has the potential to completely run a train on him. And Hibiki's, okay, never mind. I was hoping, kind of hoping for that, just so I could really highlight the previous discussion about using meter when it's not going to kill. Now, granted, I wasn't sure whether or not it was going to kill, and obviously the Hibiki did not get left with much health. But if you're playing the character yourself, you should know what health thresholds to look for and when your supers are going to kill and when they won't, you know? So just because I was not sure does not mean the person actually playing the character should not have been sure. But yeah, Hibiki's overdrive damage gets scary. This poor guy just keeps getting hit by counter hit JA all day long. Just over and over. Counter hit JA, counter hit JA. Ooh, that was almost. I didn't think he was going to be able to pick that up. So I was about to be impressed. That's the second time he's gotten hit by that specific chain. And he's actually going to lose the match for it, I think. Because he can rapid, yeah, overdrive, super. And this super does a hell of a lot of... But Bang has a lot of health. Okay, no, not even close. Overdrive supers consistently surprise me. Oh my god, this is my color. It's so irritating. Time and time again, the new characters all have been given a pink color. But they took it away from Azrael. Like, what's even the point? What the fuck was that hitbox? What is even the point of continuing to play the character if I cannot have him in the sexiest color that he's ever had? I actually hate his colors in this game. I don't like a single one of them. I just use the one that's the least bad. This default color palette is just kind of boring. I'm actually surprised he blocked that. I am not surprised he fucked up the punish. That move is so awkward to try and punish. It's actually infuriating. I'll be honest, I don't think I've successfully punished it once. Because whenever I've tried to punish, like, I haven't played enough Mice to really get like a solid understanding of exactly what the proper scenario is to do. But so, like, with Azrael, every time I've tried to 5C it, which is like twice, but every time I've tried to 5C it, that float keeps her, I think actually she'll float above it if you try to do it too early, and if you try to do it too late, she's actually out of range of the 5C. So it just whiffs in her face. And with Tager, it's kind of the same thing. Like, none of his pokes actually reach that far. Maybe 6C. 6C would probably be the best option to try and punish that move that I can think of. Because it would catch her even if she's airborne. And obviously it would definitely catch her from that distance. I just don't know if it's fast enough because his 6C is mad slow. But yeah, that move is infuriating to try and actually punish. And you saw, obviously, I spent an entire round bitching about it in great detail. because that Ragna missed his 5C. And he was in the corner too, so it wasn't even the distance part that was the concern there. That flip is just super awkward to work with. Ooh, oh. You might have been able to punish that with a falling jumping move. Because it's only the second hit of those dive attacks that is incredibly safe. So if like right there, when they're both jumping and only the first hit hits, you have a pretty good opportunity to punish it. How are people driving by? So like just, you know, it's 1 in the morning right now. And somebody just drove by with their bass turned up, I assume, to max. Like, how are you gonna drive around at 1 in the morning with your own private boombox, just trying to destroy people's windows? It's pretty fucked up. Makoto against 9. This is so mean. I just glanced over. I forgot that, well, not really that I forgot, it doesn't matter. But I left my browser open. And it's on my following page of what I'm following on Twitch. And I saw StarCraft. And I got tempted to play the game. Is the story mode actually difficult? Because I'm actually having a little bit of difficulty and I feel bad. Like, I mean, I'm a complete scrub when it comes to real-time strategy games. I've never played them. Not really. So, you know, like dealing with how, you know, like the highest level players are all working with like 200 APM and all that shit. I can't even hit 100. So, I am definitely a scrub at it, but it actually feels like legitimately difficult. Unless you just cheese it completely, because the AI itself is just like the most passive thing in the world. They will never send like, as far as well, anyway, no point in discussing it. It's just super passive, so it'll kind of just let you chill in the background and just build as much as you want, and it's only until you go to actually engage them that they'll start responding. So you can definitely cheese it by spending like an hour just building up, you know, like 50 of your race's most powerful units and then just sending them out and they'll destroy fucking everything. But that's mad boring, right? And obviously you don't learn anything from that. So like actually trying to play it legitimately, it just seems like they are a lot more advanced than you. And maybe I'm just impatient. I think that's it. I'm just too impatient and I try to get things started before I should. Anyway, back to this match where this Makoto is somehow managing to perfect a 9. I might have known how if I was actually paying attention to it instead of just randomly rambling on about StarCraft. Oh boy. So good at these. It would really help a lot more. I mean, I feel like it would be more boring for people, but I would be a hell of a lot more helpful if I only did things for like Azrael, Tager, maybe Bullet. I don't think that's going to help anything because nobody wants to play Bullet, rightfully so. Susanoo to a degree, Hakumen to a degree. I guess actually Carl. Like, I do actually know a decent amount about Carl. But there's just so many characters where it's just like, hey, look, pretty special effects and stuff. Yay! And that's the best I have to offer. Or randomly bitching about 1 or 2 moves that are just too damn good. For instance, Rock. Could have confirmed that to death. Makoto, you had it! Oh, don't give it away. Don't lose it. No! She can't kill. Definitely not if she drops it. But she wouldn't have been able to kill from that anyway. She didn't have enough meter, and I don't think she would have gotten enough meter. She might now, though. She definitely... Oh, she got it, but she dropped it! That's gotta feel bad for that 9. Definitely could have killed off of that. Choked it up. Got too excited. Was like, oh shit, I'm about to finish this match. And then dropped the ball.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
I just cannot understand how, like, every single version of BlazBlue, they nerf Like, they gave a character corner carry that they deemed to be too damn good, and they nerf it. And then they constantly continue making new characters who feature corner carry that's way too good, and then they have to nerf it. How will they not learn their lesson? I just don't get it. The mid combo overhead reset, just too strong. That was actually pretty tricky. Like, I would not have guessed that those flips were going to take her over to the other side. This poor Mai is just... I mean, she's just... I think she just gave up. Like, not bursting that combo once. I wonder what that was. She definitely did not seem like she was trying at all. And even at the start of the round, I kind of questioned it, because obviously she just stood there, right? For a brief second, which nobody ever does. Alright, so this, I believe, is one of the worst matchups in the game. And the only, I mean, you can see from the level, the only reason I did grab it is because it's Bullet versus Taker. But I feel like Bullet gets absolutely annihilated by Taker. Like, she just has nothing as an answer in this matchup at all. Ooh, could have gotten so much better. Oh, nope, no confirm. This Bullet looks lost, which honestly kind of surprises me. I mean, given, like, I don't know how easy it is to rank up, because obviously nobody plays ranked, so I haven't exactly been able to climb the ladder. So maybe it's super easy to get to level 27. I don't know. But this Bullet looks legitimately lost as to what to potentially do. Both in terms of, like, everything. Blocking, neutral, her own offense, she just looks clueless. And it actually hurts to, like, just to see somebody that plays like this. Now, let's see, they got level 2, and that'll happen. This Taker gotta stop doing that, though. You learn very quickly that 5A is just not good for that. 2A is significantly more consistent when you're trying to go for that juggle. That was a mistake. Ooh, didn't get. I thought she was gonna get failed for that. Like, either she was gonna get failed way too late, or Spark Bolt was going to. Oh my god, that feels bad. She's dead too because he has active flow. That's gonna be enough damage. That feels bad. Yeah, that Bullet just looked lost, which is unfortunate. I believe I was in the middle of a thought, and now I can't remember what it was. Wait, is this the same one? I don't think it is. I mean, it definitely isn't. It's just I would have recognized the name, but it's just super odd that they chose to use the same color. Ooh, good bait, actually. Doing pretty well so far. Unfortunately, let him out of the corner. That's one of the worst things you can do as Bullet, is let somebody out of the corner. Oh! No confirm, though. That's strange. He was definitely inside the circle, but the actual target didn't activate. She's dead. All of that started because she let him roll out of the corner. That is the direct result of letting the Susanoo run out of the corner. Part of it was the fault of Bullet just being a shit character. Because, like I said, that aerial, the JD, he should have been inside of the target. Like, he was definitely, his hitbox was definitely inside of the target. but it still didn't activate for whatever goddamn reason. That is the exact okay, well, oh, where was the cancel? What are you doing? Like, I'm actually pretty sure he was dead there. I cannot be 100% sure because I am not an actual bullet player, but I believe she could have done, like, she landed the DP, could have done the 2-2D follow-up, which is, as far as I'm aware, unburstable, and then gone straight into super, which also is obviously unburstable. I'm fairly certain that would have been a completely unburstable scenario, and now she's just gonna get astraled instead. Just both rounds gave it away. Oh, that feels bad. Fuck, man. I mean, she had it. That first round obviously could have gone any direction. It was just because she let him roll out of the corner, it wound up spiraling a bit out of control. Like, she didn't have that 1-1. But that second round, most certainly, that was a victory for Bullet. And she just missed the follow-up for some reason. I always forget those projectiles exist, because nobody ever really uses them. I mean, against Tager, they're actually probably pretty decent. He's gonna push him out to a range where he can't do anything. Like, what is he gonna do? Sledge? Then she's just gonna smack him with a low and get a full combo. I have seen more purple throws in the past, like, 10 replays than I have in all of them prior to this, I feel. Except for that one asshole Naoto player. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to do it to just reset the scenario or what, but it's so unnecessary. Like, you're giving up fantastic positioning and knockdown Oki to go for what, I mean, it doesn't even really look like a gimmick. It's just nothing. And I really hope they lose for it. I mean, I think this match is terrible. I've said it before, and I stick by it. I think this match sucks for Tager. But if the My player plays like shit, oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, don't do the 6A. You should have gone into Magnetech Wheel far earlier than that. He might need to overdrive this. I'm surprised he hasn't already. Oh, okay. I mean, obviously overdrive would have canceled the clock, but I thought she was gonna just chip him out because he was in danger. He couldn't block anything. But I don't know. I guess Mai, come to think of it, Mai probably doesn't have a very good chip game. But honestly, she probably could have just, like, run away and done an unblockable. And Tager just doesn't have the mobility to really easily avoid that. Again! That's never resulted in, I mean, it just finally did there, but, like, that's the third time in a row that she's done it. It's just, it feels so dumb. Like, she doesn't get anything from it, you know? It's not a positioning thing because she can just get the knockdown and then backdash and be in the exact same positioning, except this time Tager actually has to wake up into something rather than just being able to fall to the ground. I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. I feel like somebody just once told her that, like a Taokaka player told her that ending with a purple throw against Tager was a good idea, and they just ran with it without actually thinking about it. Because for Taokaka, it's actually a legitimately good option. Because Taokaka has so many movement options, it's ridiculous. And so, like, you can just stick Tager in the air and keep him there and run, like, potential, like, anti-air setups where he's stuck in the air and he has to barrier. Like, it gives Taokaka a legitimate mix-up off of it, versus this, where Mai is literally just, Mai and Tager both are just forced to come to the ground. Like, the only thing I can think of for it is just, this is dumb. And pointless. And I really hope this Mai doesn't win doing that kind of stuff. But, like I said, this matchup feels like shit. I would have done... Okay, did it anyway. I was just about to say, like, I would have done Magnet... What are you doing, you fucking moron? You deserve this loss. I'm no longer rooting for Tiger. You're a fucking idiot. You won anyway, but you are a goddamn idiot. That's all I can say to that. Just fucking finish the combo, man. Holy shit.
The wheel of fate is turning. One, action.
It was definitely one of my favorite songs. Honestly, it might be my favorite song if Izanami's theme didn't exist, which is not a name that I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah, that was a terrible distance. Like, you even saw that Litchi actually tried to low profile it, but unfortunately her staff actually fucked it up. She would have gotten a much better punish if her staff had not been active right there. But yeah, that was definitely not a distance where Azrael's DP is going to be effective. It's a very sloppy match so far. Good armor. It's definitely really good to represent that option from that distance, because there's nothing Azrael can do other than Gustav Buster into it. Maybe 6C. I mean, there's nothing Azrael can do that isn't just going to run into the armor and get beaten by it, I guess. Could have confirmed that. Will confirm that. And now you're in the corner against Litchi. Okay, that staff fling had to have been a mistake. Somehow. Because that did literally nothing for her. I can't imagine that was intentional. Was that? I was thinking, like, that late in the combo, I don't think the Growler routes are actually going to work. But anything will work if you don't tech. Oh, show me this Astral. Can Litchi even combo into her Astral? I actually have no idea, because I believe, like, her staff needs to be planted. Right? That's going to kill anyway. I don't actually know if Litchi can combo into her Astral, because she has a fairly unique one. Like, I'm pretty sure she hops to her staff and then, like, dives down off of it to activate the Astral, so I don't know if she can combo into it.
The wheel of fate is turning. One, action.
That was a bad, yeah. If you want to overdrive cancel, you got to do it on the first hit of that, not the second. Most 2-hit moves actually are very similar in that regard. They just don't really, if you try to punish the second one in any degree, whether it's overdrive, raid, or just do anything off of it, they're generally some of the safest moves in the game. Ooh, he's actually gonna get a punish for that. That's a legitimate thing that you can potentially do that a lot of people, I mean, it's really hard to consistently set it up, but where you intentionally eat one hit and it forces a second hit to whiff that was supposed to be part of a block string or a mix-up or something like that, and then you actually get a whiff punish after teching. Oh, that hurts. But yeah, it legitimately works for a lot of things, and obviously you saw it work right there. But like I said, it's very, very difficult, especially more so in anime games, to set the scenario up and actually capitalize off of it. Oh my god, that did 4K. I wasn't paying attention to the damage, then I just glanced over at the damage counter. I was like, oh, that was a lot. Is he dead? He might be dead, because she'll be able to overdrive. Okay, not if he bursts. Yeah, now he's dead. But I was just thinking, she's going to get an overdrive ender. Most of the time, raw overhead starter tends to be one of the better starters for the characters in the game. So that's a really bad start for this Tsubaki. That is not a scenario. You don't want to find yourself with like a 60% full curse bar 5 seconds into the round. What is he trying to mash during that? What could you, like, there's nothing. Oh my god, these picks. Why do you do this online? I'm telling you, man, more purple throws. People have just given up. They're just like, nah, fuck BlazBlue net play, man. They don't want to give us actually good net play. I'm gonna make everybody that I play hate their lives and bitch the Arc system works. This net code isn't good enough to tech purple throws in. Well, that's a curse. Never mind. That's actually a good burst. Like, no curse meter, and now he's dead. So obviously it was a great burst in retrospect. But, I mean, preventing Arakune from getting any curse meter on you whatsoever, 100% worth it. Especially when you're about to get a full curse combo off on you, and you're stuck in the corner. I really can't think of a better time to burst against that character than that.
The wheel of fate is turning. One, action.
Alright, so I have to imagine this is probably pretty bad for Celica, just because, like, she doesn't really have movement. And so, how is she gonna deal with Rachel's neutral and all of her win shenanigans, you know? I guess Rachel could just propel herself directly into a jumping Celica. That could fucking work. But Celica somehow lost, like, 2/3 of her health, and I don't even really know how. I honestly am not sure how it happened. Because I feel like this Rachel hasn't landed anything solid. Yep. I think she had to burst that. I'm pretty sure she would have been dead if she hadn't. Celica got grown man damage. Like, there's no denying that. Celica pumps out some grown man shit. If she lands a touch on you. I don't know, I feel like this Rachel was playing it right at the beginning of the first round. Just chilling. Not really committing to anything. Just using movement, using neutral. And just playing that game. But, hasn't really initiated any of that since. And has just been getting bought non-stop for it. Can't wait for that to be gone. I cannot wait for people to not be able to do shit on their own wake up. That's gonna be one of the best changes of CF 2.0. Good burst bait. I don't know if that was burst safe or if that was a hard call out, but took the burst regardless. Alright, so I assume we're about to see S get the shit kicked out of her, but we'll see. That's a good start. See, again, like, I had no idea. Like, I know that's probably like a corner, or I mean, not a corner, a counter hit specific hit confirm that gives her that level of corner carry. But, like, it's just every single time you see a character. I mean, granted, I don't think S lost that. But for it, let's just say there was a hypothetical Central Fiction extend being announced. It would not surprise me in any degree whatsoever to see things like that get taken out of it. That's exactly what happened. Every single game, they've made characters that have very strong corner-to-corner carry. Azrael was the same. I mean, his required meter to actually do properly, but you just had to spend 50 meter off of Rekka's, and it was basically a free hit confirm at that point. And you got full corner carry, nerfed in Chrono Phantasma Extend. Kokonoe, I'm not sure if Kokonoe's corner carry ever really got, because a lot of it is reliant upon magnetism placement, and that's not really something you can fuck with. In fact, they actually made her magnetism stronger. Haven't touched Taggers though. Fuck you, Arc System works. But Litchi in Continuum Shift was one of the most blatant examples of, like, absolutely stupid. Like, if you get touched, no matter where you are, no matter what hit confirm it's from, this character's taking you to the corner if you get hit. Nerf the fuck out of it and Continuum Shift Extend. And that's happened with so many characters. More or less all of them. And yet every time they make a new character, guess what? They have fantastic corner-to-corner carry. That's eventually going to get nerfed once they actually notice what they've done. It's really crazy.
The wheel of fate is turning. One, action.
Yeah, that's a bad. Good by that Tager. Everything so far by this Azrael has been bad. Okay, that wasn't a good combo. Could have gotten a lot better. It's like right there. Armor should have caught that. Ouch. It's actually only going to do like a little over half his remaining health. He could have, I'm not sure, because he did whiff 6A. And 6A has terrible recovery if you whiff it. But that burst, I think, was high enough that if he had been able to see it and react in time, he would have been able to Atomic Collider him in for free. Actually, I'm also surprised that Hornet Bunker armor did not catch. I actually can't even remember. Maybe Jesus. Maybe Tager threw out a low? I'm sorry. I was not paying close enough attention, and I should have been. Smart by this Azrael. Okay, that's not so smart. But most of the time, if you're Tager and you're fighting against Azrael and you're at full screen, you're sitting there waiting for the random growlers. The majority of Azraels would just do all kinds of random growlers all over the place, and will not stop doing them until you no longer have Spark Bolt. He fucked it up. He was too hot. Oh my! Oh, he got so lucky. If he had magnetism, he would have been dead. But unfortunately, that was just barely outside of the range of 720. But yeah, so most of the time, if you have Spark Bolt full screen against Azrael, you're just waiting for the inevitable attempted growler hard read. And so you just don't throw out Spark Bolt. So that Azrael played on that by just goose-stopping in. Oh. This dude either got caught or realistically should have got caught by every single 720. That Tager was 3 for 4. But, unfortunately, the one that missed was just like pixels away from actually hitting him. You gotta be careful. That's actually one of the. That's why the matchup of Azrael versus Tager is not just like absolute shit for Tager. Is because there are so many gaps in Azrael's pressure. It used to be a lot worse. Not a lot worse for Tager. It used to be a lot easier to 360A through Azrael's pressure. Because, I mean, there's gaps everywhere. There's gaps pretty much between everything except for, like, 5A whatever. Everything else, there's a gap. And pretty much all of them could have been 360A through. What am I saying? But I mean, it's still very, very easy to potentially mash out command grab in between Azrael's pressure and catch him. And so you saw it happen, like 3 different times there. He just got caught by 720s in the middle of pressing buttons. So you have to play against, if you're Azrael, you have to play against Tager very, very differently than you would play against everybody else thanks to those command grabs. That was actually a really good meaty. I just realized this is new and not Lambda. We're a round and a half in, and I just realized that this is a different Murakumo unit than I thought it was. Because for some reason, I'm just used to, generally when I see new, she tends to have the darker color palettes, and Lambda tends to have the lighter ones. Or maybe it's just the it's probably just the blonde hair, really. That was a really deceptive cross under. Because he didn't just straight dash under, like he kind of stopped, but his character still continued to slide forward a bit. That's really tricky to try and see. Oh, my bad. I'm just... Tiredness hit. Unfortunately, now is a bad time for the tiredness to hit. I might just do 2 big videos, now that I think about it. Because, I mean, I definitely have more than an hour of stuff still waiting at the end of this. And, like, I'm starting to get uncomfortable sitting here. Like, I was actually just sitting here thinking about, like, maybe I should just, like, stand up real quick. And just watch the next couple of replays standing. I need a better chair. But that's neither here nor there. I'm also kind of starting to get a little tired. I've yawned a couple times now. My eyes are starting to get a little heavy. Nice fatal. He should be bad. Wait, why that one? Actually, like, that can't have been an execution mistake. There was... Because I was skeptical about whether or not the other one was going to do enough damage. That little... the 3-part one. But I'm pretty sure it would have. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure. Had no doubt in my mind that that one was not gonna do a goddamn thing. What if that was intended to try and bait out that? I love that combo. I've always loved that combo. I think he first started getting them in Chrono Phantasm. I'm not sure, but ever since the first time I've seen that combo, I just love, like, tossing the nail. The explosion catches them in the combo, and then you continue off of that. Oh, yeah, hit by the command grab, and they're buffing that. It's scary that they're buffing that, man. I don't know how yet. I haven't seen it used, and the wording was a little peculiar. Because I think it's specifically mentioned for the patch notes. It was something like, made it harder to jump out of it. But, like, given that it's a full screen super, a full screen command grab, there's no way they would have made it so that, like, if somebody is grounded and you just use this from full screen, it's going to catch them no matter what, right? Like, it's impossible to jump out of if you're already on the ground. Because it tracks, and that's always been the answer to it, is, like, if somebody throws that out, if you're in the air, you can potentially double jump it. If you're on the ground, you can just jump it. But it's really, so that was kind of, you know, the huge danger is, like, if you jump in the air and you use your movement options, you're gonna die. You're gonna get caught by that command grab. And I don't understand how they buffed it. And it could be, but I mean, I feel like, because I've seen, not a lot of Bang, but I've seen a decent amount from, like, I think his name's, is it Fuku? Fuka? I don't know. I mean, Fuka's the girl from oh, okay, never mind. Fuka's the girl from Persona, so I imagine the dude would not have named himself after a Persona character. I think it's Fuku. And then a little bit of Dora. And I haven't seen that super used once. So I feel like if it was actually, you know, like, abusively good, then obviously they would be abusing it. Alternatively, they could be waiting until the patch hits consoles to really unveil the stupidity of it, because by then it's too late to patch. They won't patch it anymore because it costs money to patch the console versions of stuff. At least I think it does. I'm not actually sure how it works. I know that, you know, like, patches on Xbox and PlayStation have to go through that whole approval process, which is generally why a lot of the time you'll see patches hit, like, PC versions before console versions, or why patches potentially get delayed. But I don't know if they actually have to pay to patch their games. Good block of overhead. The infamous whiff DP into another DP. The best mix-up in fighting games. You'll never see it coming. Oh shit.
Rebel 2. Action.
Huh. I'm not sure if that projectile like fizzled out. I mean, I can't imagine it did, because as far as I'm aware, that projectile just keeps going until it hits the ground. So it may just disappear when she gets hit. God damn it. The infamous whiff anything into just YOLO DP. Oh shit. This Tsubaki gotta be getting mad. Never mind, there's no need to get mad. You have a DP of your own. Show him who's the boss. Good air throw. I wonder how much better of a character Tsubaki would be if she had easier access to mid-combo power-ups. Mid-combo charges of her meter. Because that tends to be one of the awkward parts of playing a character like this, where you have to spend time in neutral to power yourself up. It's somewhat similar to Bully. Like, you have to choose. Do you want better knockdown, better Oki, or do you want to actually power yourself up so the next time you get a hit, you can actually make it impactful? I don't think it's not the same for Tsubaki. It used to be the same for Tsubaki. It used to be a pain in the ass to try and build up charge, but they've improved that pretty much with every single iteration of BlazBlue afterwards that I'm aware of. They've improved that a little bit with little changes here or there, and now it's a lot better than it used to be. But it is still, you know, like you gotta spend a little bit of time in neutral trying to charge up, or you gotta sacrifice a little bit of Oki timing in order to charge up. And it's just always curious to see if a character would be too good if that was bolstered to, you know, where they would not have to do that. They wouldn't have to resort to doing that. Yeah, that was a very optimistic use of 2C. Like, Hibiki has so many ways to slow his descent. On top of that, and obviously he hadn't even used all his movement options to begin with. That was just not a wise time to try and use 2C. That really wasn't either, if I'm being honest. But the Hibiki waited a bit longer than he needed to throw out that JC. It was actually a really good trade for Tager, to be honest. I mean, it sucks because he's down so much life, but he did get magnetism. Well, not anymore. I think he gets the life lead off this. I don't know. I'm not sure if he did. I just wasn't sure because, you know, 46-20. If it did 50-20, I would have guaranteed. If it did 56-20, he might have actually been dead. No, actually, I don't think there's any might about it. He would have been dead. That would have been an additional 1K. That was definitely 1,000 health away from death. That sucks. I would bet money he wanted overdrive right there. And now he's just getting tagered and he doesn't have a burst. It's interesting that he would choose to try to backdash. Because, I mean, the only thing backdash could be useful for is to try to bait out DP. Hey, look, he's just like me. He doesn't actually confirm when his JB's hit. He just goes into the command grab anyway. But, like, the Hibiki didn't have any meter, right? So there's no danger in just blocking it and punishing. And he sacrificed good positioning to try to go for that hard call out, which obviously didn't pay off. is sick! Oh, and didn't actually capitalize off of it enough. Like, parried the Exceed Excel into a fatal counter. I was about to lose my fucking mind, and then they dropped the combo and only got 2k for it. This could be it, though. This should be it. This does very solid, respectable damage. Like, I think that last hit does like 500, 600 minimum. How much did it hit? I think that did about 600. That super does a lot of damage. I like this Makoto. I'm a fan. Ooh, that was a really bad DP. You gotta fucking love it, fighting New 13 and Lambda. I don't know why I said New 13 and I didn't say Lambda 11. But it sucks once they corner you because they just summon the off-screen overhead sword. That's an optimistic burst. If they actually run this back, I'd be very impressed, but yeah. Yeah. That really could wind up being a game-losing decision. Because there's definitely the potential of them not getting their burst back throughout this entire round. Which is huge. Because honestly, I think Makoto has one of the best overdrives in the game. In terms of like the difference between normal Makoto and what overdrive Makoto can pump out, she gets bolstered by it more than the majority of characters that I can think of. And not having that is pretty devastating. But she's going ham while I'm sitting here talking. And now she will probably get her burst back because she's going to have to eat an ass beating this entire time. She'll probably get active flow at some point in time during this as well. Yeah, like active flow right there. It didn't even matter. So she was definitely getting her burst back after that. But like if she didn't get the first hit and she wasn't running her offense all that time and Lambda had taken offensive advantage and just run with it, it was definitely a possibility that Makoto was not going to get her burst back and could have lost the entire game for that burst. But sometimes the right answer is just to be almost arrogantly confident. I don't know, I don't think that was a good idea. Because he sacrificed damage and a knockdown to try to go for a gimmick that was beaten by just not teching. And I think she actually, if she had teched properly, would have been able to punish that that normal instead of just getting hit by it. Good hitbox design, Arc System works. Y'all consistently nailing that shit. Could add that to the list of jump-ins that went on counter hit and should cause a hard knockdown that you can pick up off of. Yeah, that'll about do it. How many more do I have? I think I did about half, right? Maybe? How long has it been? Has it been? Let's do like 1 or 2 more. We can end with this one. So then hopefully both of them will be around an hour and a half. So there will be 2 of them instead of just one giant one. I overestimated my my ability to bypass fatigue. I just kind of fucked up a little bit because I would be like sleeping right now for another couple hours, but unfortunately I passed out during the day for a couple hours. So when it was my time to normally go to sleep, I was not tired, and I thought I would be good for a while longer, but I was wrong. So you're, instead of one like 3.5 hour replay theater, you're getting 2 big ass ones. Oh. Barely did any damage. Just Izayoi things. Incredibly strong overhead mix-up that doubles as a safe jump. Like unreactably fast overhead stuff. But it's also a safe jump for whatever reason. Holy shit, that was a combo. That was a combo that did, like, once I started noticing, kind of staring at it, like, oh, this is pretty damn impressive. It did, like, 400 damage over the course of 6 hits. That was too predictable, and she's gonna die for it. That's just disrespect at that point. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% if that's intentionally disrespect. It may have been, like, just looking at this from I'm not a dick perspective. I'm not sure if the invincibility of this one is gonna cover the entire scenario. So let me just use a second set of invincibility to guarantee it, because she has one of the most punishable DPs in the game, and I'm guaranteed to punish. But then, obviously, she completely failed to punish, so I don't know. I don't think even S can kill from this, to be honest. She may have if her overdrive timer had lasted longer. If she had an additional, like, second to wind up throwing out an overdrive super, it probably would have finished it off. But unfortunately, overdrive ended before that happened, and now Izayoi has overdrive and all the momentum in the world, and this is Izayoi, so she's probably going to win, because this is a fair and balanced character that certainly should have survived. Yep. Izayoi. Oh boy. Oh, this is the, let me see. This is the color palette that I fought against a Susanoo using, and I found it really, really difficult to actually tell when I had magnetism on him. Yeah, that's just, when he's in motion, when he's standing still, it's fine, but when he's actually in motion, it's really hard to tell. Good block. That's a free punish every time. Let's see. It kind of surprises me to a degree that I have seen almost every Tager no longer use the 5A reset off a gadget finger that it works on. The cast that it works on. I haven't seen it in a very long time, and it really surprises me. Granted, I also feel like Grandia was the only one I ever saw actually using it to begin with, and he's not. You don't see much of him. Oh man, I was expecting the 360C. Oh, I just noticed he managed to make it to leader.
Level 2. Action.
I see magnetism wore off and that JD didn't work. I wonder if the Taker even noticed. I didn't. It's just really hard to tell on this color palette, man. Huh. Wonder why you would go for the... It seemed like a safe jump setup. As far as I can tell, that was a safe jump setup. But I wonder why you would go for that over an unlock when you have this few amount of unlocks to begin with. But won the round, so who cares?
Level 3. Action.
Yep. You may not have even gotten the charge for that. Because I do know there is a time frame in between Voltic Charge wearing off and you actually getting the Spark Bolt charge where you can counter hit him out of it and you won't get shit. Which obviously is not a great feeling. Good anti-air. He gets pretty okay, not if he bursts. I was gonna say he does get really good damage off of 2C. Good block, bad block. That was a free. That's a damn shame. 5C into anything is a free 720, and he didn't go for it. So we got time. Let's go with one more, one last one. Then we can start the final one with Azrael. And hopefully we can see another god like Makoto too. I really like watching Makoto. She's definitely the character that, like, if she didn't have that charge up shit, which is very useful because she has combo routes that don't use the full, like, I think she used to pretty much almost always have, like, everything you did with her required full charge. That was 4K. But now she definitely has combo routes that, you get full pickups, you get, like, the actual, you will... use your fucking words. If you go into the level 3 version, I think they're all mid-screen. I don't think there are any corner combos that use level 2 moves, but I believe there are corner or mid-screen juggles that require level 2, and if you use level 3, they just don't work. But it's pretty much that mechanic alone. This is like, yeah, you know, more effort than I'm willing to spend. Although they have made it significantly easier now. And it's definitely one of those things that becomes like, you just gotta play the character. And eventually it becomes second nature. You're not thinking about it, you're not curious about the timing, you just do it. Also, that new Haymaker-like move that she has is awesome. I should learn this character. I really should. Yeah. That was a really good Makoto performance. It's a good match to end on. I dig it. Also, that took like a minute. I think it took about a minute and a half. God damn. Thank you for watching. There'll be one last one before Central Fiction 2.0, and then we're starting all over again. So I will see you in the next hour and a half episode. That's actually kind of cool. The top match of this matches up with the very last match I have. Same player. Alright.